You're in the Business Insurance Zone with me, Steve Savant, national insurance columnist and financial color commentator. Today on The Biz, when it comes to investments, should our conscience be our guide? It's all part of our investment risk management series, right here today on The Biz.
When it comes to life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, or group pension plans, we're the news you can use.
Well, welcome everyone. I'm Steve Savant, your host of the Business Insurance Zone, and I'm broadcasting right here live from Fountain Hills to a nationwide audience of financial advisors, and Fountain Hills is home of America's largest fountain. And with me today, day 3, Mark Langerman. Hey Mark, how you doing?
Good, Steve. Thanks again.
We've been talking, if you missed any of our shows, you need to hop back out to our site, www.brokersalliance.com. As soon as you come to our homepage, go right to our red button, On Demand Videos. That'll put you right into our archives, and you'll be able to see all our shows with Mark. He's going to be on all week long. We're talking about terror-free investing, and I didn't realize how much we were in bed with the enemy until I met this guy. And then we started looking through our portfolios and giving everybody a heads up on what's going on. By the way, I always think about this because I was a little boy and my mom would always say to me, let your conscience be your guide.
Absolutely.
And we're talking about, should my investment, should I really care? I mean, should I really care about this? And I think my conscience does. I think I'm awake to these issues. We're talking about, if a person has a conscience, maybe they're very given to the ecology of the world. So they're going to look at green investing, the things we've been talking about, or maybe they're into, I don't want any vices in my portfolio, not tobacco companies, I don't do alcohol companies, I don't do gambling. I get that. The Appleseed Fund's pretty cool, Ave Maria for the Catholic faith, they have their own thing. I'm looking at all these ideas. That tells me that people want their wallet and their heart to agree.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about that. I mean, and here's the painful question, and I don't mean to be so mercenary, but can my conscience be my guide, and can I still make money?
Well, with us, that's the goal, obviously. We actually think that due to global security risk, which we talked about the other day, that that gives us an edge in risk management of portfolios. And let me give you an example.
Yeah.
It's been all over the news. Yesterday, Deutsche Bank was in the news for possibly conducting illegal Iranian banking transactions. 2 weeks ago was Standard Chartered. Okay, and Standard Chartered settled very quickly for, I think the number is $340 million. Now, what's more significant to, let's say, in individual investors is that Standard Chartered stock dropped 17% in trading the day that news was announced that they were being investigated for these banking transactions. Okay, that personifies or exemplifies global security risk. Okay, right there. Doing business in a country that faces sanctions, that you may actually face penalties for, that's having political upheaval, et cetera, your stock price is affected. So we minimize risk in the portfolio by not including companies that do business with state sponsors of terror in the portfolio, so that if something does happen on the ground there or diplomatically, it won't affect or shouldn't affect the stock price. So that's one half of it, right? Like you said, that's a risk management part. The other side is the conscience. We've had in January 25th, 2009, or excuse me, December 25th, 2009, Christmas Day, when the underwear bomber tried to blow up that plane over Detroit. I mean, the stated goal was to kill everybody on board, as many people on the ground, right, as they could. We had clients calling us after that saying, I don't know if what we're doing, if what I was investing in was directly involved with these guys, but I finally feel good. I've taken some action here. I'm really thrilled that we're not investing in, that we are investing terror-free, that we're not supporting these guys anymore. So at the end of the day, can you do good? Can you do well and do good, as the saying goes? Sure.
That's the question, yeah.
Yeah, so let me take you back. There's an index out there that's been tracking terror-free for 8 years. Okay, it's not available in investment, but it's a FTSE World Index, and it's terror-free. And for 5 of the last 8 years, the terror-free counterpart has outperformed the non-terror-free, and over those 8-year periods, slightly outperform. So what we're looking at, plus I've been managing tariff-free portfolios for several years now. So we believe that it's going to have a de minimis, if not slightly positive impact on performance over the long run.
By the way, towards the end of the week, we're going to get into Mark's personal practice and how this one issue has been the defining moment, or I could say the anomaly, that people say, man, I'd like to do business with this person. And that's why I'm always looking from a strictly marketing point of view. Don't need to be too mercenary.
I get it.
But from a marketing point of view, I'm always looking at what's going to differentiate me from others. What's going to pull me out of the pack, and what's going to make me distinctive. And you've really found an area to hang your hat on, and clients are attracted to conscience issues. Yeah. They're attracted to their own belief systems. If they can tie that into their investing, and you just told me, the numbers, when you're looking at the indexes side by side, yeah, right? It's just as good as anything. It's more than even money. It's actually being profitable.
Yeah, we think so. And one of the benefits over some of the other type of quote-unquote socially conscious investing, or ethical investing, is what I like to call tariff-free investing, is that we don't eliminate sectors, okay? Whereas they might eliminate, like you said, sin or
alcohol,
energy,
tobacco,
fossil fuels, things along those lines. Really what our managers at Ascendant have the opportunity to do, if there's an oil company that's doing business in Iran, but we need to fill that, that sector in the portfolio, they can go find another oil company, or they can find a proxy for it. So again, all the ability to manage the portfolio by the portfolio managers is not really constrained from that standpoint, like it is with some of the other disciplines that you talked about.
There are several insurance carriers that actually have their own homemade proprietary funds, and I think they're going to start looking at this because I think clients are going to become aware of this. They're going to be, their conscience is going to be their guide. And they're going to make calls. That's right. I think insurance carriers are going to. We have a lot of our carriers that watch us. Remember, you can write me at thebiz@brokersalliance.com or just call me 1-800-290-7226. When we come back from the break, we're going to talk more about should your conscience be your guide. More with Mark in a moment.
You're listening to the insurance industry's #1 resource for products, planning ideas, carrier information, and interviews you can use. When it comes to life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, or group pension plans, we're the news you can use.
Companies in our business are always touting service, products, and underwriting. And we do that too. But here's the difference. Now enter the world of the elite producer with a value package that cuts us out of the pack. A BD that approves social media marketing of non-FINRA products and doesn't take an override. With the best competition desk in the industry, and for our loyal producers, a true group health plan. No one offers that. Brokers Alliance does.
Well, welcome back to the Business Insurance Zone. I'm Steve Savant, your host, and with us, of course, again, is Mark Langerman. We're talking about terror-free investing in our portfolios, whether it's our insurance products or some of our mutual funds or maybe some of our out and outright stocks and bonds. Hey, we just got to figure out what we're doing here.
Well,
yeah.
Sorry, no, you brought up another point. It's not just equity funds. These companies that do business with state sponsors of terror, they issue debt, they issue commercial paper. So we have the ability to put pressure on them to stop doing business with these countries from more than one angle, more than just equity. The debt is a factor as well.
Well, not only, now I don't want to get political on the show. I'm trying to stay away from it, but I noticed that one of our cabinet members of the President administration just forgave a monster loan to a Middle East country, and on top of it, then gave them more money to their military. I'm thinking, what? I'm borrowing money from China, right, a communist country, to give more money to somebody else that's in the Middle East who doesn't really like us.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And politically, most of you people that have been watching me for years, I'm a moderate and a libertarian, and I just don't get the math on this. This is all about money in the bank. And when we talk about it, I'm thinking, Iran shuts down the Strait of Hormuz. We pay for that.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's no way around that. And that's why I want to I want to do everything I can to explore all the alternatives to get out from under some of the Mid-Eastern companies that have really hurt America.
Yeah.
I mean, really hurt America over the years. I mean, it's not since 1967. We've been living like this for a whole generation.
Absolutely.
It's time to put an end to it. Talk about it.
Steve, think back to the late 1930s And if this is too heavy, you gotta let me know. But knowing now what you know then, if you were an investor, would you have invested in companies that are doing business with Nazi Germany? Okay, most people, the answer is no, regardless of returns, by the way. When the conversation goes there, returns go out the window, all that stuff. It's all about conscience. It's all about right and wrong. Okay, we're not doing that here. But think about that. It's very similar. We have these regimes that come on our soil to the United Nations and threaten us, and say that we're the great Satan and want to wipe us off the map. And then North Korea a couple years ago talks about nuking Hawaii or blowing up Hawaii. Come on, I mean, this is crazy. They not only support terrorism, they oppress human rights. If anybody, I mean, women in these countries are treated, we know how, we hear all the stories about how women in these countries are treated. That's a big factor. So when I talk to women about this, it's not just patriotism, conscience, can I make a good return? It's like, look, I'm also helping the global cause for supporting women, because they are, obviously they're not treated well there. So it gives investors, like I said, the opportunity to to really make a difference.
No, I think people actually thought this, and I think this is true. Now, remember, I haven't done a survey. Maybe I'll shoot one out to my producers just to see what kind of numbers we get. But I'm always interested when I think, okay, I think when I heard this first, I said, well, what are the returns?
Right.
Because you don't mean to knee-jerk react and say my wallet's actually leading the story here. Yeah. But many people think like that.
Yeah,
it just does.
Absolutely.
So now that we've eliminated the wallet issue, that hey, we're getting equal or better returns.
That's the goal.
All right, that's the goal, and we're getting there. If I have that, then can I make a statement? I mean, I'm reading. It's kind of like I'm reading my financial statement. Now I personally want to make a statement. And I want those two to become one.
That's great.
I want my conscience to really make my wallet work for me.
Well, and it's a great point. And most people, once they make this decision and they learn more about it, it's just like the Nazi Germany example we talked about. I mean, that's a conscience issue. It's a right and wrong issue. And today, if you don't have to compromise the returns, okay, to help your conscience. But it's tangible too. You're actually supporting America. It's not. Right. It's not that we take government out of the equation. Okay. I mean, we have horrible, crippling sanctions in place right now on Iran. Okay, to help try and bring them down and bring about regime change. Okay. But last week the administration, I believe it was the administration, actually granted exemptions to China, to India, regarding importing Iranian oil. Okay. Well, either we have sanctions or we don't. Okay. Patriot Fund doesn't grant waivers to companies. If you do business, if you have boots on the ground, if you do financial transactions for them, if you have distribution contracts for them, selling things, we won't do business. We will not own your securities until you stop doing business with these countries. And that's a powerful statement, and it lets investors make that same statement. We've taken what's a very murky, what I believe is a very murky issue, and made it pretty clear. Okay, you said earlier, can we even tell who's doing business where? I may not know where all of the parts in my watch came from, but I know that if I own a company that says, yeah, we're doing business here, I can make that decision. Maybe I can't. Buying American's harder to do sometimes than it used to be. And that would be great if it were easy. However, this gives us the opportunity to actually say, okay, you're saying you're doing business here, fine. Do business with the bad guys, but not with my money.
When I think about it, I don't want my retirement. I think about it, I'm kicking back at 70, bringing money in that is being profited by people I don't agree with.
That are trying to kill you.
That are trying to kill me. Yeah. Well, by the way, you upped my game. Not only they don't agree with me, they're trying to kill me.
At the end of the day.
Wow. Well, at the end of the day, I'm into not being dead until it's my time.
Right. Yes.
Wow. Well, we're talking about letting your conscience be your guide on investing. And remember, when you're thinking about this, I want you to walk through, ask your rep, does he know what's going on? I doubt it. That's why we're bringing it to you. We're asking you to become part of the solution. That's the Buzz on the Biz for today.
The Biz is brought to you by Brokers Alliance, a national leader in insurance products, support services, and educational workshops. When it comes to life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, or group pension plans, we're the news you can use.